course.
So you're already a Linux user. I assume you're familiar because you work on network. And you don't know that much about Linux.
No.
If we start talking about Linux, I think we should talk about technology in general. How we innovate technology. Like, we carry smartphones right now, we carry computers in our bags. How did we start doing all this stuff? Like, how did we develop these habits? And what is our relationship with the companies developing technology for us? Because we carry someone else's technology in our pocket, in our backpack. And what are we carrying in the memory of these devices, right? So I first thought about this watch I wear for like years. You know, I was wearing the plastic version of this simple Casio watch when I was a kid. And when I became an adult, I thought like the metallic version is better for adults. So I switched to the metallic. And I wear this for years, and it works with the same speed. It works with the same speed. It does the same work, and it works in the most simplistic way possible. And it never disappoints me. When I look at my watch, I see the time, and then I continue my life. But if it was a smartphone that we got right now, I would look at the time, and 15 minutes after, I would be looking at my high school friends' photos, because I just wanted to see the time, but there was notifications or something else. And I ended up looking at someone else's photos when I just wanted to check the time, and I forgot what I was doing already. So technology is like in these days going in a direction that's not benefiting people. It's going to another way. It's benefiting some really power hungry people. And they got their hierarchy in their companies, you know, investors on the top. And then there is CEOs and there is engineers on the bottom. But in one ecosystem, engineers are not on the bottom, they're on the top. And they control the innovation rather than investors, rather than like some people who is just interested to generate as much as revenue they can. And they found a way to not innovate technology, but still increase the growth and increase the revenue in their companies. Like Facebook, for example, their application is the same piece of trash for years, but they keep increasing the revenue by just generating growth numbers. And they do whatever they can to increase those numbers. If you're not texting your friend today, they make you text. And they have habit teams. Like instead of hiring really good engineers like they used to in past, like Google, for example, in 2008, Google would hire the best engineers in the market to innovate technology, to create technology. But in these days, they hire the best habit teams from the universities to make them research the people's habits and increase their how do I say that? To make people more addicted to their technology. So if you are addicted to checking your Facebook notification or Instagram notification, it's not your fault. They already prepared for this. They studied how people get addicted to things, and they developed that. And in these days, they don't innovate technology anymore. So how do I come to Linux from here? Software in general is like, if we compare what we got today, like this thing and clock, and also the smartphones and this clock. Like there is things computers and smartphones can do today and cannot do today. For example, this has battery for like 20 years. I don't have to charge it every night. But this doesn't have. And it's a physical challenge or scientific challenge. We cannot fix it today. But there is things we can fix today.
like the software. Like the software inside of this clock is very efficient. It works same speed for 20 years. Like when we switch to this better technology, we sacrifice a lot of like fundamental features that we already got in our pocket. But we don't have to actually. That's the whole point of Linux in my view. Not, of course, not every distro of Linux. To explain what is distro, we can actually go back to what I was telling about the hierarchy in the organizations leading the technology right now, right? Like I said, the investors on the top, and they want growth. They don't want innovation, they want growth, they want more revenue. That's their goal, not the technology. But in the Linux world, in the Linux ecosystems, there is only people who want innovation. If someone is not interested in innovation, he wouldn't be spending time with Linux. Like I spend my time with Linux because I just purely want innovation. I have no profit from it. I just want a better software for my computer. That's my whole point. And I voluntarily go to people and tell about Linux. Like maybe you can also consider using it, just because I'm interested in the innovation. Money is something else. So this ecosystem is very different with the companies leading the technology right now, right? Like everyone is voluntarily working on these projects, and it's a very chaotic organism, just like a universe. You know, universe. They say universe is always growing. Every second it's bigger than what it was 1 second before. Linux is also like that. Someone is working on a Linux project right now, voluntarily. Not just someone, actually, probably tens of people right now when we are talking about this. And they voluntarily do it, and they actually make one step forward just for fun or just for their own reasons. So I was one of these people, like last December. My computer was not working fast enough for software development, not for playing games. I don't play games. I just use basic tools to do software development. And at that time, I didn't have Linux in my computer. I had a break from Linux from 2013 to 2015, or 2016, sorry. For 3 years, I just only used Apple Linux, so Apple OS X, because I bought this MacBook Air because I really liked the hardware, and I liked the design and everything, and I wanted to give it a try to OS X. For 3 years, it worked fine. Then it got really slow, and I was like, what's going on with this computer? I cannot do the really simple things like just writing code. I use Emacs, one of the most lightweight software ever. You know, I used to run the same piece of software in old computer, and it was working fast. And in this one, it's new. I just got it 2 years ago, and it's one of the best technologies existing, but it's too old. When I was talking to my friends, mostly American engineers, I lived in Bay Area for 5 years. I started noticing the thinking difference. You know, I grew up in Turkey, and I never thought about buying a MacBook because it's too expensive in Turkey. I would buy a cheaper computer and I would run the best software. That's how I was raised and how I think. You know, I get something cheap and I run the best software on it. That's how I think. But my American friends were like, you must be really crazy to switch to Linux because your computer runs. And I said, like, why? Just get a new one. This is what they told me. Just get the new one. Yeah, but every year I have to get a new computer to keep it fast. And I created my own Linux that time, not because of these reasons, of course. There is also other reasons to create a new Linux distro. So there is this thing. Linux ecosystem has its benefits and also has its own characteristics that may not be useful for you. For example, especially you, because you're one of the people who doesn't use Linux, right? He already used Linux. He gives it a try. But as a marketing person, you may not benefit from Linux today because most of the people in Linux ecosystem are engineers. They like innovation, but innovation alone is not, I mean, it's a democratic ecosystem, right? Everyone can join and everyone can like be a part of the Linux innovation, but not marketing people. Just engineers, mostly engineers, unfortunately. I wish designers also, like marketing people also join and spend their time, but like engineers have this mindset, like you are in a vacation or something. An engineer may prefer sitting in front of the computer for 30 hours and just work on Linux instead of going to a beach or something. Like I'm pretty sure there's an engineer in Bali right now staying home rather than going to beach with his wife or something, you know. This is their mentality. Maybe they are sick or something, sick from the mindset. I was one of them. Like I was in Morocco and I wanted to start developing my next project. And I noticed my computer is too slow. I said, fuck this, I will just like create my own, install Linux. And when I was installing Linux, I noticed people were making a lot of forward steps in some, from some perspectives, but a lot of backward steps too. The backward steps was, in Arch Linux specifically, was the user experience. And I said like, they deleted the installation wizard in Arch Linux. In 2011, there was installation wizard. It was command line. It was not perfect, but it was working. And you would see something visual. You would see something like asking you, type this, and then I will take care of the rest of the things. They deleted it. They said, if you are using Arch Linux, you gotta do whole thing by yourself. We are not giving an easy installation screen anymore. This is the manual. Read the manual, and if you miss a little detail in the manual, you are screwed. You read this manual and then you do whole thing by yourself. And I said, like, why don't we keep the installation wizard and make it even better? Why do we delete it? Like, this is a whole backward step. This makes people use other distros like Ubuntu, for example. And Ubuntu has bunch of issues too. Like I considered that time, like maybe I should just install Ubuntu and continue my work. Like I want to continue my work, right? I want to be productive at my work. I don't want to spend my whole time just trying to install Linux or choosing Linux distro. But there was this challenge. Every Linux distro didn't work out for me. Ubuntu specifically was too slow. It was even slower than OS X. And I was like, why this is so slow? They have their own desktop system and they are trying to, their target users are kind of like similar to OS X, I think. Like maybe a marketing person might be interested in Ubuntu because it's completely visual. The user experience is designed for people who don't want to like type comments to get things done. You may not be programmer or you may not understand Linux concept at all, but you can still use Ubuntu, right? But there is two things about it. One, it has the same kind of approach with OS X and Windows. It's getting slower and slower every single year, and it's as destructive as smartphones and these computers. Because in Ubuntu world, for some reason, they see user friendliness by not just taking the benefits of the good sides of OS X or Windows. They also take the bad sides. You know, for example, they put a tracker inside of their system, so they can when they enable the tracker, they can collect data from your computer all the way into their servers. They can watch your behavior in Ubuntu. GNU made a statement about this. They said like, don't use Ubuntu anymore because they are tracking people. And it turns out the people who invested in Ubuntu was people who's trying to make profit from it once it becomes kind of like widely accepted. They wanted to make profit by tracking people. So it was like people thought like this organization Ubuntu is like backed by some good people, but it turned out that good people doesn't want to be good people anymore. So it was under the control of another hierarchy. But in Arch Linux world, there is no hierarchy, flat hierarchy. Everyone is same. There is a lot of trolls. There is a lot of good people. And there is culture. There is a lot of fights, debates. You know, they, for example, they hate newbies. You know, like, am I pronouncing correctly?
Oops.
Yeah, like they don't like that kind of. They don't like beginner questions. That's why they deleted the installation screen. Like, beginners shouldn't use Arch Linux anymore. Yeah, but I'm not beginner. I was trying to explain to those people in the IRC. I'm not beginner. I use this system since 2007. I'm just interested to save my time from doing all these steps again and again, like running these commands. And it can be easily automated. This is the whole point of Arch Linux, Happy Hacking Linux. I said, like, I'm going to create a Linux distro just for developers, only for engineers. Because if I try to make a distro for Ubuntu users or something, like, or marketing people, it's going to take a lot of time and it's not possible. But I can make something for developers. I know what they expect, and I know a lot of people who is in my situation, who uses almost exact same setup with me, but they do the same things from scratch. They spend like their weekend or something trying to get the system working. So I said, I'm going to create this Linux system, and I will create in a way that it's innovative. It doesn't repeat any cliches that Linux communities has. For example, the logo is not penguin. You know, almost all the Linux distros have the penguin logos, but mine is a cat wearing sunglasses. Did you guys see it? Or you can type in your computer and go to the website. If you Google Happy Hacking Linux,
What was it called?
you can just Google Happy Hacking Linux.
Happy Hacking Linux.
Yeah. Happy Hacking Linux. Happy Hacking Linux.
GitHub?
There should be a website. Yeah, the third one.
Which one?
This one. The second one. Yeah, that one. So the logo is that cat. Nova drew it. This girl you see on the left. And the community channel is not IRC because not everyone likes IRC. It's Slack. It comes with a tiling window manager rather than a normal desktop that you use mouse rather than keyboard. And there's something really important, but not easy to get used to. I will show you in this screen. So as you see, there's a black bar on the top, and in the black bar it says home, www, code, music, chat, and there is 6. So these are like workspaces. Huh? Oh yeah, here, like this. So as you see, there is nothing to click. It's all text. So how do you control this computer? Not without using the mouse. You basically use keyboard. For example, if you want to open a program like Spotify, you press Command P and type SPO, and it's auto-completed as Spotify, and press enter. If you want to open Slack, you press Command P and you open Slack, for example. In this case, Slack is already open here. I will So I switched to chat workspace by hitting command 5, and I'm gonna move it to first workspace by hitting command 1.
So what if you can't remember, like a name of a program or something like that? How do you find it?
You have to remember.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Or you can Google it.
Okay.
Is there like categorizations, like multimedia, like
No, there is no categorization.
no tag about the program type thing?
You can search. So let's say you want to install a program. Simply you open the command line, and let's say you are looking for what are you looking for?
Oh, search for the program. Okay.
So in Windows, or I mean, you're already familiar with Ubuntu, but I will just explain for you. You use Windows. In Windows, if you're looking for a program that you needed, like let's say you wanna download a music program, right? If you know the name of the program, you say like download this program and go to a website and download it, right? But in Linux, we have a command called pacman, and we just search music related programs, and it gives us the list of them. You can filter, and when you choose what you want to install, you just say, yeah, install this program, and it's installed. You don't need to go to a website. It's all like directly from the command line. So this kind of like saves your time.
So is this also the websites that's not in Google?
Yeah.
It's another protocol.
Because the problem is sometimes user is not remember what the command do when we open sometimes the application because many command line.
Yeah, if you don't remember the command, you know what I do actually? I have a notepad. Like this is in my
Is that the notepad?
yeah. I have an offline notepad, and whatever I learn, I write it to here. Like
The commands type thing to remember.
yeah, like useful comments, chroot, blah blah blah. I also like type whatever I learn, I type it here, so I never forget. I mean, I forget, but when I forget it, I go to this document. It's offline. I don't put it in anywhere online. So when I don't have internet, I can access it.
How do you browse the web?
I use the web browser.
Just browse it, then you start using the mouse.
Yeah. So this is like yeah, Google Chrome.
Cool.
You can use Firefox, Chrome, any application you want, just like any other Linux distro.
Generally, benefit is more fast and more low RAM and resources.
Say again?
More low resource with Windows.
Less resources.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It uses less resources, and there is one more thing I want to highlight. Like in the modern desktops, we use mouse a lot, right? And this kind of has a very weird balance. I'm very into design in general, and in design, like when I designed a web browser, we were talking about a web browser project. When I designed a web browser, one thing I noticed was like this desktop system is completely broken. Xerox research labs developed mouse in 70s to help people who's not very into computing easily do their tasks by clicking things on the screen. But this kind of like led us to in a way that like our screen is so bloated. Like when we design our programs now, we just put everything inside. Apple actually made a lot of significant steps to fix this. Like they put importance in simplicity. They didn't like bloat the screen with a lot of things. But did they succeed? They succeeded in some parts. They didn't succeed in some other parts. Because the problem when I noticed when I was building the web browser was like this keyboard is not dynamic. Like when we got this we have the buttons already set up, and these buttons cannot be changed, switched for each program. You know, so you have to put the buttons in the screen, and the user have to use the mouse to click the buttons in the screen. So whatever we cannot do here, we move to here. From the user experience perspective, like for example, this watch has like 3 buttons. One is light, one is changing the mode. If they had more functionality than this, they would have to do the same thing modern smartphones are doing right now. They would move the buttons inside the screen because they cannot change the physical buttons, right? But Apple made a very interesting experiment in the recent MacBooks. They put a dynamic button set in their hardware, and everyone is like, what's this? Like, this is really stupid. I was like, oh my god, this is exactly what I was thinking about. This is brilliant, because the whole thing, this whole user simplicity problem arises from the Xerox research about mouse. Like, push all the buttons into screen, never think about here. This is static QWERTY keyboard, F1, F2, F9 in most keyboards. So in Linux, you go back to here, not the screen. Very clear screen. I mean, in this setup actually, not Linux, because there is the one you use, KDA. It's all like it's very similar to OS X, and you use you use mouse and keyboard at the same time. But in this system, you use keyboard more than anything else, and it tries to give you the most powerful way to manage your desktop only using keyboard. It makes no sense, but it works much better than using mouse. It's much more productive. Like, instead of clicking things, you just like hit some keyboard shortcuts that you eventually get used to, and this keyboard becomes like your how do I say, your daily habit.
Yeah, you build it.
Yeah, when you get used to it, it works really smooth. I can show you how I do my daily tasks if you like to see. Or let me show you this actually. How do I boot it up?
Still have OS X on there too?
Yeah. Because I need some programs in the OS X. Like when I do video editing, photo editing, I have to switch to OS X. So I'm gonna restart the computer. The December version of this system, you are laughing because I have to type a command to reboot the system. But once you get used to it, it doesn't look crazy anymore. So the first version of this system was released on the December when I was in Morocco, and then I came to Indonesia like a few weeks ago, maybe 1 month ago. I released the second version of a.k.a. Linux, and this time it's fully compatible with MacBooks. Like when you install a.k.a. Linux, no drivers issue at all. Like I made a
On a MacBook. Not on like if we install it on all 3 of these PCs, it's gonna be like touchscreen doesn't work here, touchpad doesn't work there. Just like that's my problem with Linux. Is like they don't have the drivers. It's like no universal. With MacBook, I can see because they're all the same.
yeah.
But PCs are like all 3 different worlds. That's the tough part.
Yeah, but right now I'm just one guy
Yeah,
in this
that's
project, right?
good. And everyone here, well, 3 here PCs in here, but I think everyone in the whole place is MacBook.
Yeah.
We're the only PCs in the whole people, I think.
Yeah, but you can try it in VirtualBox if
Yeah.
you want. So I made something specific for a.k.a. Linux. I made a I made an installation wizard from scratch, like a new installation wizard. And this installation wizard asks your name first, your GitHub account second. So it installs your .dot files and configures your Git. And there is one more thing. I like to highlight. It prepares your hardware. I mean, it is a system for preparing the hardware by detecting what computer you use. If you install it in a VirtualBox, for example, it installs the guest editions automatically. You don't have to do it manually. It detects, yes, this is being installed in VirtualBox, and I should do these steps. In Linux world, this is kind of not a accepted way of doing things. They are like, no, the user should just install the install the things. So for MacBook, for example, this comes ready to use, you know, like you don't have to install any driver. And when you boot up, you choose between this cat or Apple. If you choose the cat, you launch Linux. If you choose the Apple, you launch OS X.
Is this like an older version you have on your website? Your bootloader looks like that.
Oh yeah.
That's an older version of it?
In the VirtualBox and PCs, it will
Okay.
boot like that. Yeah.
And adding your GitHub, like, it takes the configuration from all your programs, all your .dot files.
Yeah, automatically links. Yeah. And if you guys wanna trade in VirtualBox, you don't have any risk to trade. You can just easily install it.
VMware, same thing? It's okay?
I never tried with VMware
I'll try for you.
because VMware is not free, right? You have to have license. So this is the thing in general. I can give you more details about the project if you have any questions. Or we can talk about anything you like to talk about this topic. Like the beginning of this, how we innovate technology and what's the future of this stuff. We can talk about it. I'm very interested in this topic, although it's not a productive thing to do in the middle of the day. Sometimes I just think about it.
How long of like, when did you make this operating system? A couple of years ago, you said?
No, last December. It's very new, yeah.
Okay.
In Morocco, yeah.
Almost a year.
Yeah. And this whole thing started by, like, I was trying to make a website for, I was trying to make a new blog, and my system was too slow to make a blog. And I said, all right, I'm gonna use Linux. And when I looked for a distro, there wasn't a proper distro that I could use easily. And I said, okay, I'm making my own distro, and then after I make my own distro, I will make my blog too. This is how it started.
And it's based on Arch Linux.
Yeah.
So, but do you have an installation wizard? Did you put that back in there?
Yeah, you can see it in the website. And this installation wizard does one more thing that other distros doesn't do. I'm saying this just not to blame other distros, but I think it's a funny thing. Like for years evolution, there is not much Linux distros that detects your time zone automatically. But Happy Hacking Linux detects the time zone automatically, and I'm so proud of it.
By your IP address?
Yeah. It sends a request and it installs like some small dependencies to detect the time zone. It's so funny. But in other Linux distros, you have a huge list, and you have to go one by one. Where is Istanbul? Where is Bali? Where is Bali in this time zone list? It sounds funny, right? But I spent like maybe 2 days for this, just for the time zone thing, because not the coding part is not the time consuming part. When I was making this, the most time consuming part was testing it. It's so hard to test. When there's a mistake, you fix it, and then you need to try it again, which is like trying to install the whole system from scratch. Testing takes a lot of time.
search engine, how long did it take you to make a search engine?
The search engine, it's still not complete yet. I have the so I was coming to what's my approach about search engines. It's kind of out of topic, but I will tell you briefly. I want to make something that's not based on AI, that doesn't put AI first, it puts humans first. I worked for a company called Geely. That was my last job in Silicon Valley. And our approach was humans first, not the AI first. It failed. It got sold to Pinterest. But I think it could succeed if we tried hard. Now, I personally tried hard, but not everyone are willing to like run the company without making profit for long years, you know. So the whole thing was like, you ask a question to your search engine and you get answer not immediately, later, when the search engine finds the right people to answer that question and gives you an answer. This was Jelly, my last job. But Kozmos is completely different. Again, humans first, but totally a different search experience. So when I was testing this web browser project in Turkey, I noticed like people use search engine for going to websites they already know exist, and they just don't want to type the URL, or they don't want to go to their history. So I said, like, how do I fix this problem? Like, how can I develop a search engine that that powers people to tell their web browser, I want to go to this website, and just take me there. Like, for example, my father take my web browser, and he said like, I need to go to Google in the first try. And I said like, why do you go to Google? Just go to another website. And he said like, no, to go to another website, I go to Google first. I type Google where I need to go. And then Google takes me there. I click the first result. There is 25 pages of results in Google, but I'm just only interested in the first one, because that takes me to the place I'm trying to go. So I said like, if you are making a web browser in 2017, this web browser has to know what user wants without requiring URL. URL is designed for 40 years ago, not 2017. We have to know what user wants to do. Like, you cannot tell your father, you have to memorize the URL of every website you need to go. And this was his school's website. Yeah, he's a manager in that school. Like, he doesn't want to keep the URL of his own website. So I said like, if I designed a web browser from scratch, the first thing I would do would be to put a heart button in the web browser. This heart button, yeah, like, there is a user interface. There is not much buttons, you know, there is no tabs, but there is a heart button. And this heart button is just like on Instagram. If you like a website, you click the heart button.
Favorite.
Yeah, and it gets added to your bookmarks.
So you create your own library, just like Google actually has.
Yeah, so you have like your personal library. In the personal library, you have your bookmarks. And I noticed, like, when I was doing this research, I noticed like not many people use bookmarks because it's not simple. Like, you have to go to bookmarks bar, click open, and then click add, and then it prompts you something. So I created Kozmos. It gives you the like button in the browser. It has extensions for Firefox, Safari, and Chrome. And once you click it, it does everything for you in the behind of the scenes.
So try to give me an example of
Yeah.
a search query I would do or something. Like
Any kind of search query, like the first example, my father is trying to go to his school website, right? You start typing the name of the school, and Kozmos immediately knows where you want to go because it's in your likes. It knows you are interested in that, and you search about, let's say, how nature works. One of the queries I'm testing right now.
How nature works.
Yeah, how nature works. Like it gathers most liked articles and videos from the web. Currently, it's under private test, and the search is not that good. But maybe you notice I was working on the beta version of the search. Maybe I can show here. So I'm making I'm working on a beta search that that also not only lets you search your library, it also search everyone's library, all the people's library. You don't see who liked what. Like, for example, let's say you liked youtube.com.
Yeah.
I know how many people liked what, but I don't know who liked it, and I'm not interested in who liked what. I just want to know what's the quality of youtube.com. If 1 million people liked, it must be good. And when you search for videos, I think I can confidently give results from YouTube because it's liked by everyone, many people.
So it's like the Instagram website with websites. Can you say that?
No, I wouldn't say that. Instagram has its own content. So
Can you say?
Is this part of your browser? Like this? Is this? You were talking about you're building a browser. This search is part of your browser, or is this a website?
in the future it will be. Right now I have browser search, completely separate projects.
But
But
where do you like them
but
in the browser? Like if you like a website, are you liking it in the browser? Or are you liking it?
you like in the
your
web browser. You like in the web browser. I give extensions for that.
Okay.
You get extensions. You install the extension and then you have a hard button in the browser. When you click it, it immediately likes it, and it does everything in the behind of the scenes. Like it gathers the title, description, and it's kind of like generating text for every website, and it categorizes the content. If you go to the website right now, Kozmos.net, but with K, you can see the screenshot. Like you see with Z, Kozmos. Z, yeah. K-O-Z, Mos. Yeah, Kozmos.net.
KOCMOS, right?
No, Z. This one is Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
That. Okay.
With K. This one is K.
This one?
Yeah. And this one is Z. Z. Yeah, yeah,
Z.
you got it,
Alright.
yeah. So, like, if you scroll down a little bit, you will see like your
These are the ones
bookmarks.
you liked. Yeah.
Yeah, these are like articles, blog posts on the left, and these ones are like videos, audios.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So in the next version, you will be able to like search how nature works, and you will see like, for example, a TED.com video liked by, let's say, 150 people about a TED talk that was made about how nature works, coming up in the first. So instead of like Google's PageRank algorithm, I use how many people like this. Very simple. So, and to accomplish this, I first try to make a bookmarking manager that works much simpler than the other ones we got right now. And this project will evolve into a way that like we use it for bookmarks, and also we use it for search, and this will be integrated to its own web browser in the future. Yeah. This is what I'm talking. This is out of topic, but these are the projects I'm working on right now. If you guys have any thoughts,
I want to ask about
Hmm?
Linux. What do you think about Linux Mint? Yeah, because I believe Linux Mint is most popular.
Linux Mint?
Yeah, Linux Mint.
I don't know.
Search from Google and Linux Mint.
I never tried it.
You know,
I never tried it.
Yeah, because
But it's
this,
one of the most popular distros.
Yeah, it's most popular distro Linux, and also can recognize the file from Windows and other Macs as well.
Maybe I saw the screenshots.
Linux mean you can.
I don't have internet right now because my membership is already
Expired.
yeah.
Yeah, it's many different distributions.
But I think I saw the screenshot of Linux Mint. Like when I think about it, I started remembering. It's more similar to kind of Ubuntu style distros, but it's more lightweight.
It's like KDE kind of. Has
Oh,
a
yeah?
start menu and stuff like that.
What's the desktop system it uses? You use
I think it's
Linux Mint
KDE.
already?
I used to. I've messed around with all of them, but I think it's
And you
KDE.
can use the Linux Mint and Windows. But for now, I will always stop there.
That's you in there. You're on the.
Yeah,
You're famous.
yeah.
There is no other else.
She's my business partner.
Model.
Whenever I need this kind of things, like visual things,
Yeah.
she is coming to help.
Nice.
Like in that Linux project, she drove the cat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's a good icon. It's a good logo you got there. Kozmos in the background and the heart, like you were saying, to a favorite.
Yeah. My skills are limited. I use.
tech skills.
I maximize my skills for that logo.
You do the text only. She does the logo. Okay, how's your dual boot?
if
I don't fully
Huh?
grab it yet.
Hmm?
I don't fully understand it.
because it's kind of incomplete. I was about to say, maybe if you see something that's less incomplete, maybe it will be easier to imagine it.
Can you reference it to something that, like, something that's already finished?
Which part, by the way?
Uh,
Which part you didn't know?
search.
Search.
Yeah.
I can show you what I'm working on right now. How nature works. Like this will be the next search engine.
Yeah.
It's not complete, but maybe it's less incomplete.
Yeah.
So you can like switch between tabs, like everything, articles, videos, photos, sounds, and then this is like personal by default. But if you click public, you will do
Everybody
public search.
Right.
Everyone's bookmarks,
Oh, okay.
and you but you will see bookmarks only saved by multiple people. Like let's say you bookmark something really private, like it should not be public, because you already only person who bookmarked it. No one else will see it. This public search is only for common bookmarks.
Batteries on there.
All right.
Yeah. Did this look meaningful?
Yes, it does. But if it was finished and you pressed enter,
You will see results. Just like in that screen. Like if you scroll on. Yeah, scroll a little bit. Scroll on.
Oh yeah, to run. Oh, to run the Windows.
Just like this. Like these bookmarks. These are the bookmarks.
LibreOffice.
it's almost like
LibreOffice does the
Pinterest.
same thing. It's
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah, exactly. Pinterest, but for everything, not just visuals. Yeah,
Libre.
yeah.
So does it like connect every social media, every website, every
No, it doesn't connect social media.
doesn't connect?
It's all based on what you like, what people likes.
So what about a Facebook group? Or let's take an Instagram photo
Mm-hmm.
of something about. If you typed in nature,
Mm-hmm.
could it be possible for a viral Instagram photo to show up?
I thought about that.
Well, no?
I thought about that,
Yeah.
but it's not kind of priority in this case.
No,
Yeah,
it's only websites.
but I have
The menu.
people don't use Instagram.
Like favorites.
I mean, if you offer integration, it's possible. But I don't see how you are gonna make people install your integration in Instagram. That would be kind of hard. But I did bookmark some Instagram pictures, and they appear in this site nicely, and they appear in the search. And Instagram is one of the websites. They kind of like document their content with meta tags. Like maybe you are familiar with meta tags from the marketing side. Instagram is good at that, so they appear in the search really easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's useful for actually using it Instagram, but I don't think Instagram users will bookmark their pictures.
Okay, no.
But like unlike Google, I'm not my search engine will not go to Instagram and like scrape and like try to get content. It doesn't work like that. It works only like when you click like. Yeah. Not like websites doesn't exist in Kozmos. Only like websites exist.
Alright.
Yeah. And websites liked once is not public, but more than once. Like for example, you like youtube.com. No one else will see youtube.com in Kozmos. But you also like youtube.com, and I also like youtube.com. It means public. Now people can see youtube.com in the search results, but they cannot see who liked it.
So one too public.
Right now I'm working on it.
What about
They
What
go to
about
that
it?
website.
Yeah, localhost 9900.
so
Yeah.
what about websites that hasn't been liked yet because they're just brand new? So brand new websites, how are they?
I mean, if Kozmos is enough popular, and the owner of the website thinks like that, thinks in a way that like I should add this to Kozmos so people can see it, and I should ask my uncle to also like it, so
Okay.
so multiple people like it, and then it will be
So just
likely
go,
to.
go on a dig around the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
You like that? Oh,
Yeah. But in the future, there will be more elements of being in the first result, not just how many people like it. Because marketing people are crazy, like you, for example.
we'll do some stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Get noticed.
You'll
That's
and I will try to fight back.
Right?
Yeah, because I saw like how marketing people. I need to do marketing for this website, right? I'm just one guy making everything: design, logo, video, editing, everything by myself. So I also did marketing for this website, and when I was searching about marketing, oh my god! Like until I searched about marketing, my one of my eyes was closed. I opened the other eye and I'm like, my god! Like that's how they think. They got the list of 200 bookmarking websites, and they have a program to submit their website to those 200 bookmarking websites. And sometimes they even pay. Like there is paid bookmarking websites to avoid spam.
What does a
But they
bookmarking website mean?
Hmm?
What does a bookmarking website
like
mean?
Pinboard, for example.
What?
Like
Okay.
Pinboard,
I see.
Like that?
Pinboard, Pinterest.
So that's pictures.
hmm?
I thought Pinterest was pictures.
They post text
Links to
as a
content.
picture.
Ah. Have you ever thought of making the search engine like an add-in, like an extension for browsers? Like, is that possible? To like, you load extensions into, I don't know if Safari does it, but like Chrome or something has the add-ins that you can, instead of when you search in the bar, instead of searching Google, it'll search Cosmos. Is there any way of like?
There is actually there is search extensions actually. Yeah.
But instead of making it like a website, you make it an extension in other known browsers. Like an extension. I don't know how Safari works, but or Chromium extension, or
Yeah.
Cosmos extension.
So the step by step, I will go to that direction.
After you have the website.
After this search work is done, I have a new tab project. Like in the new tab, instead of seeing this Google thing, you will see Kozmos search. You will be able to do full text search in your history, and also your bookmarks in Kozmos, in the new tab. So this new tab is not going to show this screen anymore. It will show a search engine. So that will be one step. But my final, I mean not final, but my ultimate goal, let's say, is to combine Kozmos with this web browser project called Cactus.
Cactus.
Yeah, it's all actually in GitHub. You can download and try it if you want. Maybe not in Windows.
I can run it on Linux, right?
In Linux, yeah. We have to compile it though. So in Cactus, it will be like integrated, and the web browser will be the search engine.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining. I really enjoyed
Very good.
telling my thoughts, ideas, everything.
So exciting to
Yeah.
hear about it.
Thank you.
Big ideas.
Thank you so much.
Terima kasih.
Yep. You're a member here too, right?
Expired.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Today illegal entrance.
No, today you give me
Illegal
speech, so
teacher.
that's fine. Can you?